5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. There was no written agreement between the parties to show that rupees 20 per month was being charged towards electricity charges as part of the rent. The plaintiff and defendant both appeared in the witness box. The plaintiff as PW4 stated that the defendant was liable to pay rupees 50 per month as the rent of the accommodation, rupees 20 per month towards electricity charges, and rupees 7.50 per month towards house tax. Stanza. Section 105 of the Transfer of Properties Act defines the lease. The lessor is entitled to get consideration for the lease from the lessee which is agreed between the parties. In case a lessor provides other amenities or furniture in addition to the accommodation which has been let out, unless the intention of the parties is that the amount fixed for providing such amenities be also treated as rent, the amount taken separately for furniture and other amenities may not form part of rent. Normally, the electricity charges are taken by the landlord for the purpose that is, he is providing electricity to the tenant, and for such facility he has to pay the amount of electricity charges to the electricity board or such authority from whom the electricity connection has been taken, and the landlord is liable to pay for the consumption of electricity by the tenant. In absence of any specific agreement or proof in this respect, it cannot always be termed that the amount of electricity charges forms part of the rent. Stanza. Sri K.T.S. Tulsi, Learned Senior Counsel, appearing for respondent number 7, submitted that on similar allegations, this court had directed CBI to initiate criminal proceedings against his client, and criminal prosecution has been launched and ended in logical conclusion. Thus, there could be no justification not to initiate the similar proceedings against Sri Ravi Mathur IAS. Respondent number 4, not initiating the proceedings on the similar or more grave charges would amount to treating the said respondent number 7 with hostile discrimination. The disciplinary proceedings cannot be initiated against him in view of delay and laches, as the statutory rules applicable do not permit such a course at such a belated stage. The criminal prosecution can easily be launched. The matter requires investigation as to whether the said respondent number 4 had committed an offence under the provisions of Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Dr. Rajiv Dhawan, Learned Senior Counsel / Amicus Curiae, would submit that the gravity of allegations made against the said respondent number 5 allegations made against the said respondent number 4 is of such a high magnitude that it warrants the same treatment as given to Mrs. Neera Yadav IAS. Respondent number 7, Dr. Dhawan has taken us through all the proceedings, including the reports of the Chairman, Board of Revenue and K.T. Thomas Commission, and submitted that it is a fit case, directing that the CBI to conduct inquiry against the respondent number 4. However, Dr. Rajiv Dhawan has raised serious objection in respect of intervention of the respondent number 7 and opportunity of hearing accorded to Sri K.T.S. Tulsi, Senior Learned Counsel, on her behalf, that in a case of this nature, the respondent number 7 had no locus standi and right to raise any grievance whatsoever. Stanza. Sri Rakesh Dwivedi, Learned Senior Counsel, appearing for respondent number 4, has vehemently opposed the initiation of disciplinary proceedings or criminal procedure prosecution on the ground that the authority did not suffer any financial loss. There is nothing on record to show that the said respondent indulged in corruption. Thus, the provisions of the Act 1988 were attracted. The said respondent had acted in good faith. The disciplinary proceedings cannot be initiated, being time barred. All the allegations had been made against the said respondent number 4 at the behest of respondent number 7, and the same suffer from malafide and bias. The said respondent had paid the transfer charges only once to the tune of rupees 1.80 lakhs. The second conversion had subsequently been cancelled by the respondent number 7 herself. Due to pendency of this case, the said respondent could not get the physical possession of any of the plots. The change of user of the land in Sector 32 was made in good faith. More so, such a change was cancelled and the green area was restored by the respondent number 7 herself. The contract given by the respondent number 4 to certain contractors had been at the rate on which they had been working earlier. Thus, the authority did not suffer any loss whatsoever. Over.